Hi, I'm Sheri Bay. I'm a reference librarian here at Lincoln Library, and today on Positively Crafty, we are going to learn to make a Halloween banner using yarn and pipe cleaners. The supplies you'll need today is white yarn for the ghosts, black yarn for the spiders, and orange yarn for the pumpkins. And you'll also need pipe cleaners in black and green. For each spider you make, you'll want 2 pipe cleaners, and you'll want them cut. I just fold them in half and then cut them that way, so you get 4 pieces or 2 pieces, and then you'll do that with 2 pipe cleaners. Each spider will get 2 pipe cleaners to a palm, and they'll look like this, and those will be the legs. And then for the pumpkins, I think if you're making 3 pumpkins per garland, I would cut the green pipe cleaner just in maybe 2-inch pieces, or however long you want. That's completely up to you. And then you'll need some scissors, and you can use twine, you can use another color yarn. The yarn that I have for this is like a mustard colored yarn, just to attach your little palms to. But you could also just use orange or black or white. You could get fancy and braid the orange, black, and white together and create a string like that. But again, entirely up to you. Let's get started. Let's start with the pumpkin. So you'll take your yarn and just start with stringing out some. And to make the little palm, that's what I call these, a little palm, is I'll use my hand and just wrap the yarn around my hand. So I'll take this piece between my pinky and my ring finger just to hold it, and then flatten my hand and then just wrap. I wrap it loosely, but you can go as tight, you can go as big as you want as well. It's really up to you. It's up to you how many times you want to wrap the yarn around your hand. The fluffier, the bigger a pumpkin you want, the more you want to wrap your yarn around your hand. So go ahead and do that, and then once you feel you've got enough yarn to make your palm with, go ahead and you can stop, and then go ahead and take your finger and take your yarn off your hand, so you'll have like a ring of yarn. Go ahead and cut. Okay, and then what you're going to want to do next is take another strand of orange and cut it. This one's probably about 16 inches long, and then you're going to want to lay this down. Once you have your yarn laying down like this, take your strand and center it on your ring of yarn here, and you'll want to tie a tight knot with your loose piece of yarn. Try to make each side as equal as possible, and go ahead and tighten it up real tight and double knot it. Okay, I would go ahead and leave these long for now. We'll go ahead and trim those later. So you'll want to take your scissors. If you have really sharp scissors, those probably work the best. And try to just go through the loop of your yarn and just cut like this. I make it taut and I just do a big old cut. And you might have some loops still in there, so go in and find those and get those cut so it looks like the start of a palm. Of course, you'll do that to the other side. And then go back and find the loops that you missed. A little loop in there. Okay. Just what you do with that is just kind of finagle with it a little bit. Find another loop in there that didn't get cut, go ahead and just cut that. If you think that your strings are too long and you want to trim them up, that's fine. What I do is I just take the long pieces and kind of just hold so that the cut pieces are up, and just kind of put it in between my thumb and my finger in kind of like an OK sign. And then I'll just trim it up a little bit. The shorter you have your yarn, the poofier your palm is. And again, that's completely up to you. If you want to poofy your palm, great. If not, that is fine too. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of fluff it up there. Okay, and this will be your pumpkin. So now, we'll go ahead and leave one long string because we'll attach that to our final rope. So go ahead and take that 2 inches of pipe cleaner. And there's a couple ways you can do this. You can try to get it if your knot that you made around your string. If it's loose enough, you can go ahead and try to weave that in there like that. So that's in your knotted part. And go ahead and just double it on up. You can twist it once at the base so it kind of looks like you got 2 stems, or you can go ahead and just keep twisting the green around itself so it looks like you've got one long stem and kind of curl it over, and then you can poof it up again. Like I said, keep one long string here, and you can go ahead and just trim that one up and cut that so it is uniform with the rest of the palm. So here we have our first little pumpkin. Next, let's make our spider. So I'm going to take our black yarn, and just like I did with the orange for the pumpkin, I'm going to take a little piece and put it in between my pinky and my ring finger just to hold it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap the yarn around my hand. And like I said, the more you wrap, like the more rounds you make around your hand, the fluffier your palm will be. And then once you're done, just slide your looped. I like to put my finger right in here just so I can hold my yarn. When I take it off my hand, go ahead and cut. We're going to lay it down and then cut a long strand, probably about the same as the pumpkin, about 16 inches. I'm going to sit that right in the middle. And just like with the pumpkin, I'm just going to tie this in the middle and try to make my sides as even as possible. And do a really tight knot here. Okay, so you look like that. And then I'm going to come through with my scissors, go through the loops. Look for those loops that you didn't get through. Go ahead and cut those. Got a few in here that I missed. Alright. Again, I'm just going to kind of puff it up. And just like with the pumpkin, if you want to trim it up a little bit, just grab your 2 long pieces and take this between your thumb and your index finger and kind of fan it up, and you'll see there's some longer pieces, some shorter pieces. I'm just going to go ahead and trim that up. Poofy little palm here. Okay, and then you're going to take your one, like I said, take a full pipe cleaner, fold it in half, and then just cut it, and that gives you two legs. So you'll do that with 2 black pipe cleaners. With this one, you'll want to do the same thing you did with the pumpkin and find that center strand of yarn in there that you tied around and just wiggle your little pipe cleaner in there. I made this one a little too tight. Okay, just wiggle it in there so you have 2 legs, and you'll just do that with all 4 of these pipe cleaners. If you have your pipe cleaners in there, you're going to want to just kind of move these legs. So you have 4 on each side. Kind of maybe towards the ends there, bend them down a little bit so then it looks like you've got your little spider. Kind of poof that up again, and again, we'll leave 1 long strand so we can use that to tie it and cut the other one off. Next, let's work on our ghost. So you'll take the white yarn, and again, this will be very similar to what you did with the black and the orange to make your spider and your pumpkin. This one you may want to make a little bit longer perhaps. So I'm going to go ahead and use the palm of my hand, and I'm going to take the strand and put it between my thumb and my first knuckle here in my hand before my index finger. And I'm going to use this wide part of my hand for the ghost, just so that the body of the ghost is a little bit longer and it's not as poofy as a palm as the pumpkin and the spider. So once you have it wrapped as much as you want, go ahead and take it off again. Okay, and then go ahead and cut. The difference with this one is you're going to actually cut this one. Instead of tying a knot in the middle, you're going to actually want to cut on one side of it so that you have a long strand like this. Okay, and then you'll want to take your white yarn again, and same with the other ones, about 16 inches in length. You'll want to sit your white yarn right in the middle and tie a knot, a very tight knot right in the middle. Try to get it as even as possible. Once you've done that, you can keep these two pieces long. You're going to want to take both sides and kind of curl them in and create the head of your ghost like this. So you're going to bend it in half, so you've got two of the long sides meeting together. So what you'll want to do then is take another strand. This one doesn't have to be as long. Another piece of white yarn, just long enough so that you can create the head and tie it off. So about the upper part here, and you're going to want to tie that. So you see you have the head of the ghost, and here's the body here, the palm part. So go ahead and double knot that. Okay, this one you'll keep long because this is the one that will attach to the top. So these longer pieces we can actually go ahead and cut. And just the same as your pumpkin and your spider, if you want to go ahead and you see you got some pieces that are longer than others, you can go ahead and just trim that up. You can make it all even if you want, or you can just trim up those really long pieces. And here is your ghost. Okay, so now that we have all of our pumpkins and our spiders and our ghosts made up, you can make as many as you want for your garland. The one behind me, I have 3 of each, 3 spiders, 3 pumpkins, 3 ghosts on there. It makes a nice length of garland. It fits perfectly on like a fireplace mantle. Looks nice on the wall behind me. So I'll go ahead and cut. I'm going to use black yarn because that's what I have on hand, but like I said, you can use twine, you can use fishing line, you can just use any color yarn, you can braid the yarn, anything that you like. So make it as long as you want. Okay. Go ahead and cut it. When you tie them onto your yarn or your twine, I like to leave a little room. Tie them tight, but not too tight. Make it so that you can move them around if you want to. So you can put more space in between them or less space. So you can have them, and then you can move it around. And again, they're all kind of far apart, so just to show them off for you, I'm going to go ahead and move them down so that they're closer together. And there you go. You have your very own Halloween garland. This is a fun fall craft that the whole family can get involved in. Something fun for the kids to do as well. Halloween is such a fun time of year. Thank you for joining me today. I hope everybody has a fun and safe Halloween.